Hi, thank you so much for clicking on the link. You're probably thinking, who is this guy and why has he sent me a video link in an email? Well, the main reason is my name's Andrew and I used to be a deputy head in Uckfield College and before that Peacehaven Community College. I've been in secondary schools for years, deputy head, DSL, Senko, MA in education, all those bits. But the reason that I'm sending you this video rather than expecting you to read an email is because you're busy, busy people. And I just wanted to give you some headlines and some highlights of what we actually do because it's a bit unusual and it's probably easier for me to explain it than you to have to wade through some detailed emails. So I'm really passionate about how the brain works, and I've spent years and years just as a nerd kind of diving into the research and as a teacher kind of applying that research. Now, there are kind of two elements to our understanding of how the brain works. First of all, it's about getting the optimum processing of the brain. It's incredibly powerful, fantastic memory, learning system, and a processing system. But because of the way it's configured and been built by evolution, there are loads of ways the brain gets in its own way. So, kind of my work now as the kind of CEO of Action Your Potential, the company that I run, is to work with schools, with parents, and with students to bring the neuroscience revolution direct to kids, to parents and teachers, to explain everything about how the brain works in terms of what the brain needs in relation to well-being, how to manage anxiety, how to respond to cognitive distortions, how to manage emotions, how to revise effectively, how to build memory, how to build motivation. So the way it works is I come into your school. The packages are differently priced for different size schools. I realise there's a massive squeeze on school budgets at the moment. I'll talk to your parents and children together in the evenings. I'll talk to your children in assemblies and PSHE lessons. I'll talk to your teachers in staff briefings and in staff training sessions. There's a website which will it's going to be launched just after the East holidays. A brand new website. We've got one currently, but we're just updating it. Lots of information that your parents, teachers and students can access throughout the year. Really accessible, simple messages about day-to-day practices that they need to put in place to build the best version of themselves. So we talk about the 12 rocks of well-being. We talk about desirable difficulties in terms of responding to anxiety. We talk about have to and want to motivation. These are motivational, inspirational, quite nerdy presentations, lots of information that will enable people to get the best out of their amazing brains. So do contact me. Just reply to the email. I'm happy to come to your school to talk to your SLT. I'm happy to do that via video conference. And we've got a really flexible package. My vision is that we, as a profession across the country, build a really simple message about what the brain needs every day, pump that continually simple message out to all of our parents, and with students spending 85% of their time at home and 15% of time in school, one of my particular interests is how we as a nation close the gap. We know that actually if we continue to not close the gap as we are as a profession, it might take 100 years to support social mobility for our most vulnerable learners. And one of the key issues around that is vulnerable learning. The fact that students from more vulnerable situations, whether that be SEND situations, family complexity, health needs, etc., their learning is much more vulnerable for lots of complicated reasons, that once we understand the whole brain and the whole child and the whole day, we can have a kind of complete approach. So it's about a cultural tweak in the way we respond to schools. We all care passionately about students and them reaching their goals in life, but in order to do that, we need to support them to understand why their brain often works against them. Cognitive distortions, anxiety, the impact of not enough sleep, the impact of not enough exercise, the impact of not managing emotions, etc. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough. Do get in contact. We'd really love to work with you. We're working in 75 schools across Kent, West Sussex, East Sussex and London now. And we're just really passionate about spreading this amazingly good news about this incredible organ at the top of our necks. A billion processes happening a second, 85 billion neurons, trillions of possible connections. Once we get this amazing biological machine to work for us, we are unstoppable.